Back to the top story. Joe Biden set to become the 46th president of the United States after he was declared the winner in Pennsylvania today, topping 270 electoral votes. Tonight he gave a speech calling for unity and laying out his vision for the future. President Trump has not conceded the race, and instead his legal team is pursuing legal challenges to the voting process. The president has maintained there were irregularities with mail-in voting and even in-person voting in some states. And supporters of the president-elect took to the streets in North County this afternoon. This is in Cardiff. People there held up signs and showed their support for Joe Biden. And joining us now is Fox 5 political analyst Carl Luna. Carl, thanks for coming on with us again.
Thank you. It's good to be here, Jason.
Yes. Well, what's your reaction to what you heard from Joe Biden tonight?
Well, Joe Biden is basically acting like a president-elect. I mean, the election's been called for him, and that's pretty much looks like it's pretty much over, presidential legal challenge notwithstanding. He laid out a vision of things to tackle, immediately get going on COVID, which is getting worse around the country, start to look into governing when he hits the ground running in Jan 20, but also laying out the fact that he is the president-elect, and now that kind of takes momentum away from efforts to reverse the election and makes him look more presidential, perhaps even than the president, who is yet to concede or come up with evidence to show why he shouldn't.
Well, you just mentioned the president not conceding yet. The Biden win appeared likely, but what's the advantage of declaring a win today while votes are still being counted and litigation is in the works?
Well, I mean, historically, Jason, when all the networks simultaneously all declare that you've won the election and you look at the math on the wall, that's when both parties say, okay, it was a good fight. They shake hands. You got a winner, you got a loser. Because bottom line is none of these elections are ever finally certified until sometime in late the November, early December, and no one's going to wait for a month after the election for that. This is the only case I've ever seen, except for Bush v. Gore, with a legitimate question about recounts, where it's being left kind of in limbo. We have a president who doesn't like to lose, so he's going to argue he hasn't, but it's not looking good for any of his legal arguments. So it's really on the president's side much more than Joe Biden. Joe Biden's doing what you normally do right now.
Well, the presidential election, understandably, getting a lot of the attention, but let's look at the Senate and the House, and that's where maybe the GOP a little happier with a good shot at keeping the Senate while also making gains in the House. How are you breaking that down?
In the House, and it's one of those things that's kind of structurally built in, the way that the gerrymandering's been done, the way that, particularly in red states, they put all the Democrats in one district, and in blue states they do the other. Right now, Republicans have an advantage that if the popular vote is close, they get kind of like extra bonus points, and that kind of explains a lot of what happened in the House. If the Democrats could do it, they would try to do that. The Senate, we may not know until January, because there's now two special elections going into January from Georgia, and that means that when this all goes to the House and Senate to take a look at the electoral votes, Republicans may not even have a majority at that time in there if they have any discrepancies they want to try to vote on the Senate. But most likely, we're going to have divided government. I think that's what some people voted for. We'll go with Joe Biden for president, and then he'll be unleashed to the Republican Senate, so things can't go too far away from the center. And that's where Joe Biden will have to govern from, at least till 2022. It'll be a moderate administration.
Well, finally, an election unlike any other. What does all this do for Americans' faith in the election process? Because in many ways, this has really turned into a mess.
Yeah, and you put your finger right on it, Jason. We're all kind of losers because the process became so convoluted, so many false claims being made. Joe Biden, in his speech tonight, talked about bringing America together. It's going to take a while for these wounds to kind of scab over, and then maybe once there's a transition, once a new president's in, we can get back to the idea of governing, and maybe we can start to bring the two sides together. But it's been 10 years of Republicans and Democrats pulling apart. You keep on doing that, countries break up. We have to figure out some way to get back together and quit demonizing the other side. And I think that's what both parties have to work on post this election.
All right, Carl Luna bringing us his insight once again. Carl, thanks for being with us.